when you hear these leaders are very sick.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Catherine. This tragedy strikes the LAPD. The coronavirus has taken the life of an officer. He had been fighting for his life since May. He was live outside St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica, where the officer lost his life.
From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be America first. America first. And only America first. And I say, really, you know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay? I'm a nationalist.
Is this me? What up, everybody? Excuse me. Let me grab me a cough drop here. We're kind of on the fly. I had a long day at work. Zeb was taking care of all sorts of Zeb stuff behind the scenes. So we got a good show for you today. Honestly, not sure what we're going to talk about. What do y'all want to talk about? Damn it, where's my favorite ones? I got rid of my favorite. This is all cough drops, by the way, for me. What are we talking about today, Zeb? What's up? There we go.
Cooking habits for
Have you updated your cooking habits for 2026?
Have you not seen the
Does it involve baking cookies in big ovens? 6 million cookies are added to today or 2026's recipe.
That being said, I have been actually looking into
At the real APAC is back.
I know he showed up at my stream earlier.
Shabbat Shalom, dude. Welcome back, dude. Been a minute.
Turn off the phone. Come on home. Shabbat Shalom.
That's pretty good.
There we go.
There we go.
Whoa. I didn't change the lens. It'll be
the
okay.
real APAC says, Joshua, watch your baking language. Call me Bobby Flay. Call me the Gordon Ramsay of baking cookies, man. That's what we're doing in the year of our Lord 2026. Hell yeah.
That lens is going to mess with me. Yep. Anyway, I'm not feeling halfway decent today. We're going to have, there's been a shakeup on Nav ever since like mid-December. So, we're going through a little bit of growing pains, if you will, if you want to call them that. So, things are going to be happening, not happening. We'll see what comes out on the back end of it. We are not going to leave you hanging for sure, but some things might change up as we go. As I said, we're going to be talking. Have you updated your cooking itinerary habits cookbook for 2026? Right, we're going into February here, Black History Month, Josh. So I want to get everybody updated on the cooking habits, right? We wash our chicken with dish soap before we go into the moon. And we what else we do
before we go to the moon?
Yeah.
So true, King.
Before and then what else? We got medicine in the glasses. We got gold nuggets in the head. Have you not seen the medicine in the glasses yet?
I don't know what that is. I know the gold nuggets in the head.
I'll have to find a medicine in the glasses.
I thought
the medicine in the glasses.
I was like, is that a reference to that Somali guy who had like the $3,000 pair of glasses who was like, we was stolen from, they stole all the documents that you asked for. So sorry.
All right, so we're gonna just dive straight into it. I mean, if you haven't, I did a solo show today. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. At least the first 45 minutes of it, I dove into a lot of poly market and crypto and how all that's connected to the AI world. Yeah, we're gonna take a look at this. I want to get Josh's reaction to what's going on here. One, and then two. I mean, I want to after we kind of get through. After we update everybody and they install the new update into their mind as we go into 2026. Obviously, the sub-Saharan African world has brought so much culture to us that it's just overflowing. It's something new every year at least, if not every month.
So Zeb, before you play the
I want
video,
you to just guess. I mean, as we're talking about,
yeah, this is what I'm saying is, so the words sub-Saharan African and food mentioned in the same sentence. I'm sure this is going to be a feast for the eyes. I can't wait. Is this a video that fat people should watch to try and not eat food to prevent themselves from having an appetite?
I don't think it'll prevent anything, to be honest with you, Josh.
For fat people?
No.
I'll be the test subject.
All right, so here this is TikTok. Black TikTok goes crazy every once in a while. More than usual, obviously. Parts of Black TikTok started grilling their hot dogs.
The TikTok algorithm thinks I'm a black person, and
it's
no pun intended.
So true. TikTok
it's
algorithm.
Bananas. It's crazy.
He said parts of Black TikTok started grilling their hot dogs directly in the plastic packaging, and now everyone is doing it. They're saying this is how the product is supposed to be used. It's designed this way, Josh. The white man designed it for us to cook on the grill inside of the plastic.
We fell for our own tricks again.
So we're gonna come back in a few minutes, and the motherfucker's gonna be bubbling inside the pack. So, just stand by, stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, y'all, we back. So you can see the edges of the wrapper.
As we go through this, and he's talking about the hot dogs on the wrapper, I want to know what's going on with the hamburger.
I was just gonna say, before I noticed the packaging,
we cooking meatballs on the grill?
When you pulled up the raw footage, it is on screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you pulled up the raw thing, I thought the burgers are what I was supposed to be looking at, because they look like mud patties. Like if you were to just see them on the ground, or not on the grill, you would think they would fall apart.
Marcus says they're trolling white people. Yeah, I would think so too, right? Me and Josh reviewed one time where they were washing hamburger meat. That one was a troll. This one isn't. I think this is legit. I think because it's not just one.
It's burning. That is okay as long as it ain't like melting. You're fine. But if we zoom in, you see it's gonna be juicing and bubbling on the inside. It's gonna be cooking this hot dog on the inside of the pack. So in a few seconds, when we return after this short break, you're gonna see all the little bubbles, and you're gonna see the juices being absorbed and sucked inside of the hot dog. So just stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we're back. And I'm finna show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, now check this out. Get your phones ready, start screen recording, do whatever you gotta do, because this shit finna be epic, boy. It's gonna be some shit you ain't never seen before. Look, now inside the pack, you see the juices. It's bubbling. It's cooking. It's filling up with juices. So when you bite into it, it's so juicy. So look at it. Just look at it. Don't.
I think Marcus pointed out that they took the bratwurst out of the packages, which is behind the hot dogs, but not the hot dogs. Okay, maybe this video is. We're gonna get into another video or two.
His tone. This feels like a joke.
It's very
worried
jokey.
about the edge.
Yeah, but it's the problem is his contemporaries are also retarded.
It's being burnt. Yes. It's okay. It's not gonna penetrate.
You can
here's a way to put it, Ted. Here's a way to put it. He's trolling white people, but here's the thing: if it fools white people, think about what it does to blacks.
He might be trolling white people, but the blacks picked it up.
Break the pack. I promise you.
The brats look good.
And bam.
Josh, you're not going to the cookout. You're not getting an invite, dude.
I think I'll pass.
There you have it. Perfectly cooked Don't worry about the outside, y'all. The outside don't mean shit. Perfectly cooked hot dogs.
Okay, yeah,
Juicy as fuck.
I definitely think this one in particular is a joke. Those hot dogs look terrible. They don't even look good. But okay,
Josh,
here's
you don't get to go to the cookout, dude. You're not going to the cookout.
Yes, I do.
Hell. Is
this the final evolution of seasoning? This is the final boss of seasoning.
They don't season their hot dogs with the plastic.
You know what town we in? Yes, I do.
Hell.
That's what Cal said, do let them sweat in there.
Bro's been cooking it into plastic.
But don't be hating on me how I cook my hot dogs. This shit right here is fire. Wee!
I mean, how many does it take, Josh? Do you think they're really doing that? I mean, this is
that's one of those things where I remember people were saying, I was like, you know how when you get ice cream right out the freezer, you can't scoop it because it's hard as a rock? What you got to do is microwave the spoon. That's what you got to do to get the spoon hot so you can cut through the ice cream, and a couple people fell for it.
I guess the question is, sure, some of them might be a troll. The question is, how many people are going to fall for it, Josh? How many people are going to fall for it?
Okay, here's the thing, though. You know that they're falling for it because we reviewed a video not long ago. I remember this. You brought this up. It was a guy who was cooking soup or chili or something in the can, like directly on the stove.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember if he opened it.
And it busted all over.
It exploded
all over him.
And then he showed a picture of himself after the fact, and he was burned. So you know that like this cooking the food and the packaging thing, they're not falling for it.
That's Jackson. That's good, dude.
What did he say?
He said, "What am I watching? Why are these people burning plastic and eating it?" He goes, "Speed run cancer any %." That's good, dude. That's funny.
We get cancer the old-fashioned way.
Microplastic maxing. But yeah,
they're macroplastic maxing. That's what they're doing. They're cutting out all the Teflon, and they're just eat it in the package too. Why don't you?
This is as I mentioned earlier, kind of in the same vein. These people believe that there's medicine in glasses.
Y'all about to piss me off. Because I also thought there was medicine in glasses. And I'm going to tell you why. If I go buy some glasses off Shein, the same way I can't see without my prescription glasses, I'm not going to be able to see in them damn Shein glasses. When I went to my optometrist, she said, I got to update your prescription and your glasses. One of your eyes is worse than the other. And now I can see clearly now. I thought that when they say your glasses will be ready in a couple days or a week or so, it's because they got to send off your measurements, your new eye test, and they send it to the manufacturer company. And then the manufacturer company takes and creates your lenses with whatever solution or medicine that you need so that you can see clear or see further or closer up, whatever the situation is. I thought that's why if you put on someone else's prescription glasses, you can't see, because the medicine was different. Just like when they give you medicine and the milligrams is based off weight. And I know I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, but why is it so fucking shocking and not making sense to anyone why we would think there's medicine in glasses? And y'all about to piss me off. Don't act like it's not possible that these.
Dude, I gotta find the original. I gotta find the first one that started this.
Really funny because I'm imagining like she probably another black person was like, "You stupid," and then she's like, "I can't be the only one that thought this. Come on now."
Yeah, the guy that I guess not originally started it, but that put it on TikTok first is hilarious. Maybe we can find the original.
I thought they put medicine in glasses too.
So okay,
this is like a problem on TikTok that just like arise. Like
this,
they just assumed medicine was in glasses. Somebody said that on a TikTok, and then they got a bunch of hate, a bunch of comments saying that it's not, and then everybody's like, all the black people are like, oh, there's not medicine in glasses. Like this is this is just a standard belief.
So black people have just been assuming that there's medicine in glasses, but it's not come out because no one said anything because, well, it's just obvious. Okay, and first off, does she mean like the lenses are coated in something, or it has like liquid in it?
You asking the wrong person, Josh.
When you said medicine in glasses, I thought that like maybe you were soaking it through the skin.
Maybe we'll get to the bottom of this.
I'm not even 100% clear on what they think. Like, what does that even mean?
Josh, I'm trying to get you ready for February, okay? It's coming quick.
What told me, gang? Fuck, niggas just know how glasses is made. Now everybody a glasses expert. Fuck y'all, bro. I think someone told me that in like 3rd grade and I ran with it. Told my some people can vote. All right, dick rider. Niggas better not say nothing dumb in their life. I'm gonna be watching. Let niggas say anything dumb now. Watch. How I'm gonna give it niggas grace.
Someone said it in the 3rd grade, though, the education.
Let me see if I can find the original one, dude.
Again, everyone a goddamn glass expert
need to
now.
shut the fuck up. Always acting like since you got your degree and you think you know every motherfucking thing. Talking about, oh, how could you not know that there wasn't medicine in glasses? Cause, bitch, you know your granny, slow ass, told you when you was younger, I gotta go get the medicine put in my glasses or some shit like that, or don't wear people glasses because it can mess up your eyes, got medicine in it. You know your slow ass grandma told you that when you was little, so you believe the shit. I ain't got no reason to question. How the hell do medicine get in glasses? I don't give a fuck. I don't wear glasses. Half y'all only know that because y'all wear glasses. So stop trying to make people feel stupid.
Josh, obviously they take the magic from the dirt and they compress it so tight it turns into glasses. That's the medicine. It's the magic dirt that they compress into the glass.
I've got like a folder of React stuff. You're gonna love some of it, dude. I saw one today. Maybe you've seen it actually. It's kind of big on Twitter. This guy, he goes around to all these African immigrants, and he's black, and he goes, to get rid of these African immigrants, you got to play their own games. So he starts casting African spells on them in their language, and they start like freaking out. And then like one guy starts casting spells back at him, and he's like pretending to seize and stuff. We got to learn. So I got a buddy who he's a big gamer, and he plays a lot online, and you know, he interacts with a lot of like Asian people playing video games and stuff, and Indian people, and he's based on this. So what he did is he learned a bunch of like slurs. He learned like, what is the worst thing you could say in Indian to an Indian per their culture?
Yeah.
Like Chinese is like chinto wa baba. I forget what Indian is, but it's, you know, it's like your mother has sex with a goat in their language. And so he like learned the curse words. We got to do that. We gotta, that's the only language other than English I want to know is, what's the worst thing you can say to these people in their own tongue? That's what we got to do. We got to start casting spells on them.
Casting spells. Well, this is what we're importing, Josh. We're importing all of this. I
like that guy.
Yeah,
I'm waiting. Whenever I see a black turncoat, I always wait for the shoe to drop, because, you know, it's like first video you see of Officer Talmud, it's like, oh, here we go. We got a good one. Then you don't. So, but this guy, I've seen this guy for a long time, and he hasn't disappointed me yet. So,
did you know that there's no medicine in prescription glasses?
I love being an adult learning new things. Did you know that medicine is not in glasses? A lot of the people in my family have and wear glasses. And they always say, oh my gosh, I gotta get a new prescription. My medicine ran out and my glasses. Like medicine. I always hear medicine. No! I am so fascinated. So essentially, eyeglasses are just glasses, like glass that is shaved down to meet the needs of your eyes.
Imagine that you wake up and you find yourself to be just as retarded as this nigga bitch. Did you niggas think they were putting Robitussin on the lenses and shit? Remember, black women are the most educated demographic in America. And also remember, black people invented almost everything and white people just stole it all. Did we forget how we make glasses and shit, black people? This is fucking embarrassing. We don't sit back and do research and try to figure out things that are complex and out of our understanding. We assume shit works a certain way and go about our day. That's a big sign of an extremely uneducated people. Do better, niggas.
There you go, Josh. They put he answered it for you.
I'm
They
ready.
put Robitussin on the glasses. They rub Robitussin on the outside.
Okay, yeah.
Of the glass.
So they think. So that like your eyes are absorbing it. Like there's the proximity to your eyeballs. It's there so that you had. That's what I bet. That's what you know what I bet they got that idea from is contact lenses. I bet because eventually your prescription wears off as your eyes degrade. They saw when contact lenses came out, like you put the solution on it to help it go into your eye easier, and they thought, oh, that's like the contact lens medicine. So glasses must work the same. You got to have the medicine near your eyeballs. This is black magic, people.
Oh, we got another one here, Josh. You ready for this one?
Here we go.
I ain't never seen before.
Hot dog.
I ain't never seen before.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody already know how to cook chicken. You know what I'm saying? You already know what to do with that. But
everybody know what to do with
chicken. Everybody know how to cook chicken.
You put that Dawn dish soap on there and you wash it all around.
Y'all know what you doing.
I didn't know. It was with that pack of hot dogs, right? Instead of busting out the pack, spraying them out, you know what I'm saying? You flip the hot dog pack over. Don't put no holes in that or nothing. Just put that pack right on, you know what I'm saying, on the grill. It's gonna start bubbling. Yeah. Work smarter, not harder.
All right.
Dude. The work smarter, not harder at the end has to be.
That's the cherry on top.
Has to be. Is he trolling, Josh? Is he wasting a pack of 24 hot dogs?
Now, okay, here's the thing.
TikTok.
Here's the thing, Zeb.
That chicken does look nice.
The hot dog video, I'm like, okay, I think this is fake. But that paired with the medicine and the glasses thing, that's tough, man.
That's tough. That's tough.
That first guy might have been fake. But
yeah,
honestly,
we need a weigh in. 1 through 10. How fake are the hot dog videos? Did one person start it and then everybody just started doing it? That's like a 4. A 10 is these people are all in. They're cooking their hot dogs in the plastic.
And I hate to say it because you only saw the first video. You saw that guy's face, but all the ones since then, I don't think you see the guy's face. That would really help with knowing
if you got to see his face.
Yeah.
I think so too, dude. I think so too.
And the voice too. The first guy, I mean, he talked a little bit ghetto, but you could tell he's like the ones that are trying.
Yeah.
But then you get this last guy who's like, we got the goddamn hot dog.
You know what? I mean, if we just keep getting more and more of these videos, I think it'll be telling.
I want to see them eat it. I want to see uncut
eating
the plastic hot dogs, eating the cancer dogs.
I mean, when it all boils down to it, dude, I mean, what's the difference between heating it up in a
I know that their
microwave
logic is that it's like when you grill chicken in tinfoil wrap. You know, it's like, oh, it's keeping the juices in to make it real like juicy so it doesn't dry out the chicken.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's what they're thinking if it's genuine.
What else do we say? Oh, washing the chicken.
Washing the chicken.
I saw this one when I was looking.
So these were fake? You said
I don't think they're fake. One or two of them might be, but the problem is I thought this.
My
this is funny
Lord!
Too.
Holy shnikes!
I thought this was hilarious.
Wash machine? What?
Somebody said, if you can't wash your chicken before cooking it, consider cooking it in a washer.
Are they cooking chicken in the wash machine? What the fuck, bruh? Bruh, they cooking chicken in the wash machine? What the fuck, bruh?
They obviously they must have some type of fryer set up with the washing machine. Oh man. But no, I mean the question of is it fake? I don't think it's all fake. And that's good enough for me, Josh. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
I guess we can kind of shift gears.
We should introduce them to ice. We should just go bring them a big cube of ice. Have a licking contest.
Dude, I really wanted to find, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I really wanted to find the original medicine glasses video. Oh, is that it? Doctor reacting to it. That's hilarious. All right, give me short videos. 1 second. What I guess we'll shift gears here in a second too. Chat, is there anything I want to talk about? Josh, what did y'all talk about this morning?
I don't remember. I've learned, I've used the art of putting a headphone in under my headphone, an AirPod in under my headphones.
Well, that's not beneficial.
What did we talk about today? We talked about the economy. Economy ain't in a good place. Oh, of course. And how Thomas Jefferson is the GOAT. Thomas Jefferson is the greatest American who ever lived. No, he's gay.
Somebody said Haitian gumbo. Yeah, dude, speaking of Haiti and speaking of
what is that, just people?
Updating your cooking habits for 2026. I'm trying to get mud cookies going. I'm actually talking to a guy, working through some of that stuff. I want to get mud cookies out before, I don't know, what, at least the end of the year. Sooner than later.
We have a soft February 2027 launch in honor of our African inventors, African innovators, and superiors, the mud cookies. If it, you know what we need to do? We need to hire Africans, and they can just, they'd already have it done, Zeb.
They know how to do it, dude.
Yeah.
We'll hire the Haitians. We'll shove them in, we'll keep them separate, but we'll shove them in there together. Plexiglass between them so they don't get hungry.
I wonder how hard it would be to get an authentic mud cookie.
Probably not that hard, dude. What's the drive to Springfield, Ohio?
Oh, that's good.
What flavored mud? Haitian flavored mud.
Yeah, I don't want Ohio mud cookies. I want Haiti mud cookies. The hell? Was that Erica Kirk?
Always, dude, always.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I don't know what. I mean, we kind of got a light show today. I've covered basically all the news. I mean, you don't have anything you want to talk about today, do you, Josh?
What do we want to talk about today? Did we talk together about the shooting with the woman, Nicole Good?
Not really, no.
Yeah, we hadn't really talked about that one-on-one, but yeah, I
Where you
think
wanna start?
I mentioned it how who cares?
Okay.
You know, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I like, and this is my thing is I'm pleased. Excuse me.
Yeah. Have you seen the Argentina fires? Argentina on
Yeah,
fire?
we can talk about that. But real quickly, just because we brought it up, I'm pleased that Trump does not appear to be pussing out yet. I figured this woman would be killed, and and already
Pull an ice back.
Yeah, but so far hasn't happened. But honestly, I wonder if that's partially because he hadn't even heard about it. I think his whole thing is so catered, which we've talked about before. I'm not surprised if he hadn't even seen it. My concern is he's riling people up. He's riling them up. You amp up the dog. It's like, don't amp up the dog or the baby right before bed, which I'm fine with if we were arresting these people, if we were going Gestapo mode. That's what I want to see, but it's not enough. And of course, everyone's coming out going, "Oh, it's a tragedy."
This is something that I had to get over with on a couple of people on my stream when I was kind of covering that was ICE not blanket good, ATF blanket bad, FBI blanket bad at this point.
Yeah,
but ICE not blanket good, but ICE good when do good thing. Like this, I feel like that's not hard to get over. And so if we're importing, I don't know, 3,000 ICE agents or Border Patrol or whoever it is into Minnesota, good thing, Josh. Good thing, good. Especially when they're being utilized against someone that's a professional protester.
Yeah,
I mean, these people need to be stopped. So,
and this was that kind of came up on the show today a little bit, where it was the host and a caller were getting into it about who was in the right. Because, was she trying to hit him? Was, what? I don't care. She shouldn't have been there.
Who took what position?
We have
on that?
eyes. The host took the position of the ICE agent was in the right.
Okay.
That she was trying to hit him. But my point is it's like, it doesn't matter if she was or wasn't. She shouldn't have been there. And this is the thing is like, we got to wait from our side is like, their day in court. Let them have their day in court. We need to find out. We need to get to the bottom of what happened. We have eyes, dude. These were liberal. From the very first video, you, me, and I guarantee all of you predicted to a T exactly what went down. But we got to wait for more. We don't. We know what's going on. And these people, what concerns me is that they're getting amped up from this. We need to make them afraid again. If that takes a little bit of a is what it is.
Kunga cake. Somebody mentioned Kunga
cake. Oh,
somebody
baby.
mentioned Kunga cake in the.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You've never seen this?
Nope.
You don't know what Kunga cake is?
Looks like a shitload of mosquitoes, but
let's see if it'll play.
Holy shnikes! Fill up my cup. Oh my god!
You've never heard of Kunga cake? Josh?
No.
Really? Where's the audio on this thing?
It's right there. Yeah.
These people are preparing a traditional food called kunga cake.
I can't believe you never heard of this.
Every year during the rainy season, trillions of midges invade the land around Lake Victoria, the largest lake in Africa. Local inhabitants are equipped with cooking pots and pans that have been moistened and sometimes buttered or oiled. They shake their culinary weapons.
Josh, I don't know what your face is doing right now, but I'm trying to teach you before we get into 2026 and here in February that, what's going on. You need to update your culinary. You need to update your culture. You need to update your seasoning, Josh. There's not enough seasoning
The
going
season
on.
of the season is upon us.
Yeah, for catching flying insects and squeeze them to form a paste. This paste is used to make cakes or patties. These are
Right on the
particularly rich
table.
in protein, 7 times more than beefsteak.
Dude, you think they're worried about right on the table? That's like the least worst thing going on here.
In many countries, insects have been eaten for centuries. With the world's population constantly on the rise, eating insects could...
You know why they do this?
Do you remember, did you ever see that Tim Allen movie, Jungle to Jungle, when you were a kid?
Yeah.
You remember that movie? Remember when
Tim Allen?
Yeah. Who plays Buzz Lightyear? It's Tim Allen, right?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah, it's Tim Allen.
That was him.
And he goes to like visit his ex-wife who's living in like the Amazon, and he has to eat like a worm or something. But it was like, look at this. It's a joke about how primitive they are. This is like worse than that. This is worse than when they were putting tribal people down in movies. This in real life is worse than that.
I'll give them.
Don't knock until you try it.
A bit of credit here. You know why they eat the mosquito patties?
Because the mosquito take the blood. We take back the blood from the mosquito.
Basically, it's their greatest form of protein outside of actually hunting and doing something, killing something and cooking it. That's why they eat it, because they need protein. That's the only way they can get protein.
Become an everyday.
Obviously not the only way. But Josh, that doesn't look good, dude. That's a good old fashioned burger.
Not that piece of alien technology he's got in his hand.
Currents. It's also an additional
that came in a crate from the sky. The gods sent it to him.
Solution for combating malnutrition, as well as for producing flour, oil, and even fertilizer.
What's the problem, Josh? What's the issue here? You don't want no kunga cake?
That was Alabama.
You don't want any kunga cake?
No.
All right, Josh. We got mud cookies and we got kunga cake. What are you picking?
I think I'll take the mud cookies, bro.
Chad, mud cookie or kunga cake?
Real talk.
Why did they name it? Why is it named cake and cookies? It's like the exact opposite of all of that.
Well, first off, who do they call it kunga cake? Or did we call it that? Because like the mud cookies,
it's like a cow pie or a
yeah,
that's India.
So the sweet.
So you got three options.
Yeah,
you got kunga cake, a cow pie, or
yeah, it's like the best food is the dessert. You know, it's the pies, cakes, cookies. So here is their version. It's like when you call a short person Biggie or a fat person Tiny. It is ingest.
What's another one, chat? I know there's something else out there. Somebody said mud cookies over that. Oh, kunga
cake is crazy.
Josh, I don't know why you're turning your nose up to it, dude. This is culture, man. This is
why,
this
dude.
Is
why
culture.
am I like? I'm more disturbed watching this kind of stuff than I am Animal Planet. Like I'd rather watch animals tear each other apart than humans eat mosquitoes.
Josh, that could have been you, dude. You could have been born in Africa.
Thank God that
literally,
yeah.
But that's your
so here's my question. Here's my question to you and a lot of you. How can you watch that and not believe in evolution?
How long would it take them to get to where we are?
Like I believe the estimate is like 10. Is it 100 or 10,000? Probably 100,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's just add time to it because they're not going to get dumber. That's for sure. That's not how IQ works. They're not going to get dumber. They're definitely going to overcome. They're going to birth some geniuses that bring them out of Africa, literally out of Africa, through the thought process of this mythical IQ above 100. Like they're just going to birth like an entire generation of 100 IQ people that just bring them up to a level that they can create a wheel. IQ goes down constantly. If you're starting at 65 or 70 or 80, you're not getting smarter. There's no evolution to increase IQ outside of eugenics.
Eugenics, exactly. That's how it works.
Okay. Let's take the 65
exactly
IQ. Let's take the 65 IQ, isolate them, and see if they figure out eugenics.
This is how white people came about. Is eventually, hundreds of thousands of years ago, when we were more like black people, we migrated north, and then we ended up in the cold. And the cold is very unforgiving, and those that did not innovate, those that did not figure things out, died. The ones that did figure out bred with the other ones that figured it out, and so on and so forth.
Josh is retarded. He believes in evolution, guys.
Jim Bob, get in on this.
Debate Friday, Josh. We're waiting on you. I can get Jim Bob.
I've told you I'd debate him. Just
whenever. All right, I'll get.
Well, I can't do this. I can't do this Friday, but if you want us to do next Friday, does he want? But here's the thing: I don't want to debate evolution. I want to debate, is evolution compatible with Christianity? Because I don't care about that. That's my point. Is I think it is. Therefore, if it's true or if it's not true, it doesn't matter. So I don't look into it.
Evolution is gay. Josh is
it is
gay.
Hey, calling God's creation gay. Watch yourself now.
By definition, evolution isn't God's creation.
If that's what he used to create. I've told you this before. I use the analogy of the pot and the flower. Why start with a fully formed flower when you can start with a seed and watch it grow? That's part of having a flower. That's part of what a flower is.
That's retarded.
In 10,000 years, you'll catch up.
That's retarded.
The Southerners haven't quite caught up to us Yankee geniuses.
Zeb, you said IQ goes down all the time, which is microevolution. There's a difference between micro and macro, which suggests all species just share the same origin. Yeah, I believe in microevolution. I think it's dumb to deny microevolution. Microevolution is just adaptation or change over time. Macroevolution, which Josh's contention is that species can create new species
given enough time.
More time, guys.
So,
we got this major hurdle. We got this major hurdle. Let's just more time.
Okay, hold on.
More
so
time.
you know the hummingbirds, how the hummingbirds have different beaks.
Yes.
Right. And it's dependent on where they are. You would use that as an example of microevolution.
Yes, it's an adaptation.
So when you have hummingbirds that start in the same place and over time they travel around and eventually one type of hummingbird gets isolated due to environment from the other and they start breeding within themselves, they can adapt different beaks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, if they adapt enough differences, they are no longer able to breed with the original hummingbird.
No.
That has been observed.
They're still hummingbirds, though.
Yes. But if you continue,
no,
a little change after a little change after a little change after a little change, it can become
I don't
something
know if
else.
has that been observed. Let's Google that.
No.
I
I'm not
highly
saying
doubt that.
that's
I
been
highly doubt
observed.
that.
Obviously, that hasn't been because we just came up with the theory a few hundred years ago. I'm not
You
saying,
just said it's been observed.
No. What I'm saying is that species that have the ability to breed with each other, once isolated over a few generations, can lose the ability to breed with the other group because they are so genetically different.
No.
Yes, that has been observed.
Example.
Flies. It's some type of insect where, of course,
like a fruit fly?
Like a fruit fly where their life cycle is like a couple days. So you can get in a few years vastly different lineages.
It wouldn't be because of genetic differences per se. It would be because of another.
Well, you're just assuming that.
Well, I mean, I have to make an assumption. It's not like I've read an article in 2 seconds. Example of species not being able to breed with
That's
each other.
not.
Was okay. What?
You got to see, it's like a cheetah and a hippopotamus can't breed. Need to be more specific.
Time.
How to word this? A species of bug micro-evolving to the point where they can no longer breed with the original group. You could word it like that. I mean, I've read the article on this. It's somewhere out there. You just got to.
It's giving me horse and donkey.
Horse and donkey. I'll give you that. That's not a good example.
Listen,
that's due to like genetic. That's like what? Like retards. That's like retards or something. You know,
you're
when
fighting...
you get a donkey. It's like a horse, but it's fucking retarded.
I mean, I'm not the one to argue against evolution, but I've read enough, and I know that it's not true. It's not possible. Even a lot of the atheists that were evolutionists like 20 years ago have backtracked on a lot of that because of scientific advancement. Like we know that you have a problem with irreducible complexity, right? If you want to change the hummingbird, eventually it gets to a point where the hummingbird isn't a hummingbird, but how does it change the mechanism? Like, how does a cow get 4 stomachs? Like, you don't just grow another stomach and then reproduce another cow with another stomach. Like something like what would produce that? A dog or whatever. You just can't. The problem of irreducible complexity is something to you'd have to jump over to.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because I had the same question when I was going through it, and it's easy. That was something that was a question I had, which it's like like birds, for example. A bird has hollow bones and feathers, and its body and wing shape is designed to have self-propelled flight. So how do you go from like a lizard to that? And the question is, and basically what it is you have a system in place where it develops to it develops. You don't go from like, okay, I am now going to grow feathers to have wings. The feathers began as an adaptation to serve for something else, for being aerodynamic. And then eventually the arms required, like, you know, the dinosaurs or whatever that grew longer arms were able to get more things. And then they bred with each other. And then the ones with shorter arms eventually just stopped being. And, you know, they were kind of bred out of existence. And then you get a dinosaur with long arms and feathers on it. And then eventually they had the ability to glide. I mean, you see this in squirrels.
Josh, I don't think
some
you
of them can
understand
fly.
that you can't change the DNA of the thing. Like, you can have changes in DNA, but the DNA itself can't change. Meaning that you can't add or decrease chromosomes that then reproduce beyond that. You can't create a new species. 2 dogs aren't going to have a cat. In no world, in no time does that exist. No, in all the generations. A dog will never, a cat will never produce a dog, and a dog will never produce a cat, no matter how many iterations of generations you want to go through.
Again, you're just saying that like what you just said is the fancy way of saying evolution.
Like, if we can take one step that's never been observed.
Uh-huh.
A species creating a new species has never been observed.
I acknowledge that. It hasn't been observed. But because the theory states that in order to do so, you need hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. We have not been observing that long. That's not a good enough argument.
But we have. We've observed hundreds of thousands of generations of fruit flies. And they're still fruit flies. Yeah, they change, but they're still fruit flies.
Yeah, well, first off, for example, there are examples of stagnant evolution, like crocodiles, for example. Crocodiles were around, but they were obviously very different in the sense that the crocodiles of the dinosaur times were gigantic. It's had to do with the earth being much hotter during the time of the dinosaurs than it is now. Hotter climates produces the conditions for bigger animals and stuff like that. I forget why that is, but I'm just telling you what I vaguely remember reading at one point. And
get an extra chromosome.
Can I get an extra chromosome?
That's what Downs is.
Yeah, I know what Down syndrome is.
Zeb is wrong.
Whoa! Rare Marcus and Moto Josh agreement.
Mark has been saying retarded stuff all day. He's probably just on a trip right now. Josh IQ Somalian. Somebody send me a. We'll do an evolution video right now.
You want to like review evolution videos?
Evolution. You know what?
Frank.
Here what's we go. What's that video? What's that book called?
I know. I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it's called, but it's. Here we go.
That's way too long.
Aren't you thinking of Kent Hovind?
No.
The dinosaurs are fake and gay.
That's not. That's. Why is there not a good video? Here, we'll watch this one. Let's see.
Someone just says snapping turtles, man. Well, what does that mean?
Okay, well, it depends.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
Somebody send us a evolution video real quick.
So what kind of evolution you mean? If you mean micro, I believe in micro. Yeah. But if you mean macro, molecules to man without intelligence.
He just got out of jail. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
Intervention from the good.
And he's a prison abolitionist now.
I bet he is.
Dude gets out in like 9 years in prison. He goes, "Yeah, I'm a prison abolitionist
you
now."
via the zoo. I don't think that's
So
true.
prisons
Okay, and the reason I
don't
don't
work.
it's not because the Bible
And it sounds like a
doesn't
cough when I
mention
fart.
it. It's because I don't think it works. I think there's evidence against it. Let me give you 4 quick ways to look at the macroevolutionary issue. And it's in an acronym, LIFE, L-I-F-E. L
Nice.
stands for limits to genetic change. For example, we know, breeders know, that they can't break
Somebody
the
send me a
genus
link
of,
to a
say,
video.
the canine. They can breed all sorts of dogs, as small as a Chihuahua, as large as a Great Dane, but they can't break
Screw it.
that genetic
Let's-
limit.
let's watch a debate
If
real quick.
intelligent minds can't
A
break
debate?
genetic limits,
Yes.
why do we
Let's finish
expect
this, though. I wanna hear
non-intelligent
what he says.
processes to do so? And by the way, they've done the same things about fruit flies. They've tried to modify fruit flies, and what do they get? They just get mutated fruit flies. And they're using all of their intelligence to do it. They can't break genetic limits. That's the L. The I stands for irreducible complexity, which Michael Behe made famous back in a book from 1996 called Darwin's Black Box. In Darwin's day, he didn't know what was in the cell. Now we know the cell is just a blizzard of complexity that is so interconnected and complex that you can't modify one part without shutting down the whole cell. All the parts would need to be modified at the same time to have any function. It's irreducibly complex. And so it doesn't appear that gradualism works. And as Richard Dawkins famously said, if we don't have gradualism, we're back to a miracle. That's irreducible complexity. The F stands for the fossil record. The fossil record does not comport with gradualism.
That's the
The
L.
fossil record, particularly the Cambrian explosion, which apparently occurred about 538 million years ago, according to their dating, was an explosion of 20 out of the 28 major body plans, the phyla, appear in the geologic strata just fully formed with no fossil precursors. Even Dawkins says it looks like they were just placed there. In other words, it comports better with a creation or intelligent design than it does a gradual process. If everything is ancestrally related and it went through all these transitionary forms, we should find millions of transitionary fossils, but we don't find them. And then the E stands for epigenetic information. Epigenetic information is the idea that you can't mutate DNA and get a new body plan. You have to have the structure change as well, and DNA doesn't change the structure. That's the epigenetic information. And this is a more recent discovery, and probably the best resource on this right now would be Stephen Meyer's book, either
We'll check him out.
Darwin's Doubt or A Return of the God Hypothesis. Either of those 2 books will help you and expound all those areas, by the way. So limited genetic change, irreducible complexity, fossil record, and epigenetic information. And there are other reasons. I just don't think macroevolution works. And even if it does work, the very laws that drive it require a mind to drive it. So you're not getting rid of God, even if macroevolution is true.
That's God's.
I agree.
That's Josh's contention with God's implementation of it. Black people are the missing link.
Black people.
Robert Sefford would agree with you. All right, so y'all want have I heard of Stephen Meyer before? We're not gonna watch the whole thing. We're gonna listen to a little bit of it.
Holy shnikes.
Skepticism on evolution.
Oh, I've seen this guy. Yeah.
Too.
And here's the
Does it
thing.
matter?
No, I do not play an atheist video. I fully acknowledge that these like.
Is that him? Is that an atheist video?
That one clearly is because he's calling him stupid. Oh, is he?
Creation scientist destroys evolution.
Oh, my bad. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, scientist is in quotes.
You want to watch it?
No, I don't. I don't want to watch.
Do you believe in evolution?
I believe in that's a.
Atheists
I believe
are
in
gay.
microevolution. I believe that there are real evolutionary processes. I'm skeptical about what's called universal common descent, the idea that all living forms have evolved from one single common ancestor. I'm profoundly skeptical about chemical evolution, the idea that the non-living chemicals in a prebiotic ocean
Is
or
he gonna get
prebiotic
us?
soup arranged themselves to form the first.
Listen, dude, I can pause it about like every 30 seconds or a minute. We'll
Yeah.
just keep cruising. If they get us, they get us. It is what it is.
Living cell. And I'm also skeptical
Speed it
about
up,
the
too.
creative power of the mutation selection mechanism, which, as it happens, so are many leading evolutionary biologists today. I attended a conference in 2016 at convened by the Royal Society in London. Royal Society being the oldest and most august scientific body in the world. And it was convened by a group of evolutionary biologists who were essentially dissatisfied with neo-Darwinism, the standard textbook theory that we learn in all high school and college textbooks. And many of them were saying we need a new theory of evolution. The first talk at that conference was given by Gerd Muller, a prominent.
I feel like I've seen this clip before. But we'll keep pausing every once in a while, just in case.
Austrian evolutionary biologist, and he simply enumerated the 5 major, what he called explanatory deficits of neo-Darwinism. And his basic perspective was the mutation selection mechanism does a good job of optimizing or modifying pre-existing forms. It can generate small-scale variation, but it does a very poor job of explaining the origin of those forms. Think about, for example, Darwin's finch beaks. Great job of explaining how variations in weather patterns result in changes in the shape and structure of the finch beaks. But that mechanism turns out not to do a good job of explaining the origin of birds or other major animal groups in the first place. So modification, yes. Innovation, no.
So modification over massive amounts of time, don't you think that would eventually lead to new groups? Because a lot of new groups have similar origins, or at least origins from one ancestor.
Well, time,
like primates.
Yeah, time was always the hero.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what you're arguing for is the finch beak with the hummingbird.
Yeah. Excuse me. I was gonna say I probably got to wrap at 4:30 because I gotta.
Oh yeah, you got this piece too.
Yeah. Of the plot, but let me. There are a couple.
We'll get through this.
A couple of
chat. Any questions you got for me or Josh? Go ahead and throw it out there, and we'll grab it. Zeb, how did God
I said
create
goodbye, smelly balls.
Zeb, how did God create the sun on the 4th day? You need the sun for a day to pass.
Oh, isn't that cute?
So, I mean, I'm a young Earth. Well, I guess I wouldn't be technically a young Earth creationist, but I am a creationist. And I do believe from the formation of Adam until today is about 6,000 to 10,000 years. Prior to that, during the first week, when day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, 6, 7, is a day of creation, right? So I guess maybe a decent analogy would be something like creating a video game. When you're creating the video game, you're not bound by the rules of the video game, right? You're creating the physics within the game, which would be the universe. And so it is perfectly reasonable to suggest that God was not bound, or anything inside of the code that was being created was bound or was necessarily dedicated to the day. Also, evening and morning translated is not day. It's evening and morning, so it would be order and chaos. So that's
that's.
What about the days before the sun? Checkmate, Christians. Wait a minute. Jesus rose on the 3rd day. How come he rose in the morning? Checkmate, Christian.
Excuse me.
Arguments by it, and let's see what you think. Okay, and I developed these in a lot of detail in my book Darwin's Doubt. If we now know, thanks to the genetic revolution, the molecular biological revolution, that if you want to build a new form of life, you have to have new code, because all new forms of life depend upon new anatomical, a fundamentally new type of animal, for example. So you need new anatomical structures but the new anatomical structures require new cell types. New types. So if you got animals that first come on the line and they have a digestive system, they have a gut. Well, you got to have enzymes that can service a gut, that can process food. So enzymes are types of proteins. Proteins are built from the informational code in DNA. So anytime you want to get it's just like in the computer world. If you want to give your computer a new function, you've got to provide new code. So we have these long digital bit strings of ACs, Gs, and Ts, not zeros and ones, but ACs, Gs, and Ts in a digital string, and we call that a gene. And if you have a section of DNA for building a protein, that's great, all works.
Somebody said, I don't believe in the pyramids. Obviously, this is a little bit of a joke, but I'm pretty sure they dated the pyramids at like 12 to 14,000 years ago.
I thought you believed in 6,000.
In the ballpark. It's in the ballpark. Well, once you get that, over that, it gets a little inaccurate.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
And also, we don't
14.
know. We don't know. I mean, a lot of the dating stuff is assuming a consistent or assuming a number that isn't necessarily true.
No, but if you want to build a fundamentally new form of life, you got to have new proteins to service the new cell types to build the new anatomical structures. In our computer world, we know that if you start randomly changing the zeros and ones in a section of digital code, you're going to degrade the function of that code long before you come up with a new string for making a new program or operating system. The functional sequences are they're highly isolated in what's called sequence space. You can change a few things and still retain function, but after a very few number of changes, you're going to degrade the function, and long before you come up with a new function. Now,
what he's talking about here is also applicable to our DNA. They figured this out when they started doing CRISPR. They were trying to fix like mutations in people, and they would change it to fix that what they thought would be the gene to fix or the genes, but it always created something new issues, and they only changed genes that they knew should be created. So CRISPR is basically lending to the idea that changing code, even if you know what that code is, alters other code.
There's unforeseen consequences.
Yes, because they're linked. One gene, one piece isn't linked to one thing. It's linked. It's like I don't know. To make a coherent sentence, it all needs to work together.
Darwinian mechanism starts with the idea that there are random changes in those digital bit strings, those sequences of A's, C's, G's, and T's. And based on our experience in the computer world, we would expect that random changes are going to, again, degrade those strings long before they're capable of building a new protein. And there's
real quick,
very compelling experimental evidence.
This is where I think when we've had this debate sort of before, and again, like I said, I'm not. If evolution is disproven right here, right now, I'm fine with that. So I guess my question is what you're saying is that, and hear me out here, is that genetic mutation does not happen naturally, or that when it does happen naturally, it's kind of like someone with Down syndrome. It only makes it worse.
Well, I wouldn't use Down syndrome, but yeah, it almost always degrades. Now, every once in a while, you'll get a mutation that that may be slightly better on a position, but that's typically not even passed down. I can't remember the numbers, but it was like 2 versus like 10,000 in fruit flies, meaning positive to negative mutations. But so if we go to something like maybe a good example would be dogs, right? If we take a wolf and we can get every dog breed from that wolf, right? We've done that. You can never get back to a wolf with any series of dog breed because it's been the wolf DNA has been bred out of them, and it's deteriorated to the point where you can never get back to a wolf. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so there's a book back there called Traced, and this has also been noted with IQ. We don't know if that's just purely genetic or if it's just like the non-application of eugenics. That IQ has to get re-averaged every year to keep and maintain an average of 100 as it continually goes down. So you can even look at something like well, we don't need to go down that. Yeah, maybe we need to binge
some Evo,
some evolution videos with you, Josh.
So that's true. There's an Israeli molecular biologist, Dan Tofik. Unfortunately, he died fairly recently in a tragic accident, but he was doing mutagenesis experiments on sequences of code for building specific proteins that folded into stable structures. They're actually called protein folds. And he found that between 3 and 15 mutations was enough to degrade the thermodynamic stability of the protein structure that the gene was making. And once you lose that thermodynamic stability, you have no functional possibilities.
That's another thing that they can like gauge back to the first human is they can look at mutations over time and how they're exponentially growing, and basically reverse engineer how all the mutations back to a non-mutated human, which they would call Adam. Like that's been tracked through trace.
No, I agree.
Possibly an undiscovered mechanism for protecting
Well, I don't
against
know if
that we're not.
non-mutated is. I mean, I obviously wouldn't say that. But I agree that
you think that God created an Adam that is mutated. Well, you don't think God created Adam. You're a William Lane Craig evolutionist.
Of yet?
Possibly, but there's numerous lines of evidence suggesting that that mutations are within limits. You can modify again. You can optimize an existing protein structure called a fold. But if you allow too many of those mutations, you're going to degrade. And long before you would get a fundamentally new protein structure, another protein fold. So that's just one of many. I want to run one other argument by you that I think is very intuitive. If you want to build, it turns out that there are structures or systems for building that are very important for building new animal body plans, and they're called developmental gene regulatory networks. They were discovered at Caltech by Eric Davidson and colleagues. Eric Davidson has also unfortunately recently passed away in the last few years. But what they discovered is that you not only have genes for building proteins, you have genes that are building that for constructing molecules that send signals that tell the genome when to express other parts of itself. So you've got there's signaling molecules that are telling the genome when to turn this part or that part on in order to build the right proteins at the right time as new cells are going through cell division in the process of animal development. So if you go from 1 cell to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, et cetera, you've got to, and so you have a developing animal form, there are points in that trajectory where it's important to differentiate one type of cell from another, and for certain types of cells, muscle cells as opposed to nerve cells or bone cells, to start to be constructed. And all of this is closely choreographed by these signaling molecules. So you get a DNA that builds regulatory RNA that turns on another part of the DNA that then turns on that builds a protein for servicing a particular type of cell at the right time and not at another time.
So chat saying mutations always doesn't ever result in a positive outcome.
So the argument is that mutation is
Bill, let me ask you.
a degradation of the pre-existing structure, right?
Sure. I mean, I wouldn't say degradation, but yes.
Yeah. So my point of contention is really what that is subjective. Now what he is saying, it sounds like, I mean, he's using a lot of, very like field specific language, but I would imagine basically what he's saying is the structure, the proteins and the folds, so to speak, of DNA are supposed to be the way that they currently are. And mutations are non-adaptive, that if you do enough of them, it breaks down the structure of the DNA. It is, and then you can no longer produce more DNA, right? So my argument would be to that, which I'm sure that my contention with that is you're working with, they're basically trying to force evolution in a isolated space in an isolated amount of time, where the entire system would change with a new birth, if that makes sense. Now, see, I don't know when he says the DNA mutate, like where are they getting that from? Are they mutating single-celled organisms? Are they doing it in the fruit flies? I'm not sure. Like, were they cloning the DNA? Because if they're cloning the DNA, then it makes sense why it would break down. So my point is, real quick, let me finish this thought. My point is, with the mutation being a degradation of the pre-existing DNA being subjective, what I mean by what I say that is, I'll use the hummingbird or the finches, for example. Certain finches have long beaks so they can get to the nectar of, flowers that have longer stems. There's certain hummingbirds, I believe they have like really long and like downward curved beaks for like lilies or something like that. Flowers that are shaped that way. My point being is that is kind of the point, is all mutations, it's not a sickness. It is a deviation of the pre-existing DNA. So if you're a hummingbird and you've got a, I don't know, inch-long beak, and then another hummingbird is born, and through mutation, it is like an inch and an extra centimeter. Well, now that hummingbird, he's eating out of the same flowers. He's living in the same place. And to him, it seems like this is bad because, maybe his head's higher. He's not getting lower to the thing. He's not getting lower to the flowers. So he's more capable to get picked up by predators or something like that. It's an abnormality to them. But if that hummingbird goes away to somewhere with longer flowers, again, the difference will not be as noticeable. But if over generations, the beak gets longer, and that's my point, is you see different species, subspecies of the same animal in the same place, right? You would acknowledge there's different birds around here. There's different species of duck all in the same place, and they can breed with one another.
Well, there's subspecies of duck.
Subspecies of duck
species.
Around the same place, and this is my point, is you get variations within species, within duck species.
Sure.
Right.
I don't think he would deny that.
Of course. The point being is if you then you take a group of duck, you can even get all the subspecies. Let's say there's duck A, B, and C. There's a mallard or whatever and a whatever. Duck A, B, and C. Those ducks migrate somewhere else, and then they never come back to the original place. If the conditions of that new place support things like longer beaks, and this is my point, is the genetic mutation, it is not like, okay, here's a hummingbird, and this one mutation it's only mutating one way. They're always mutating with every new generation in slightly different ways. And eventually, the slight mutations that are more beneficial are the ones that breed.
What are you arguing against?
Basically that mutation is like being sick. That a mutation is like the organism is getting worse. My point is it's subjective. A first generation mutation might seem bad, but under the right circumstances,
I think you're using
mutation
beneficial as like a blanket statement, and it's not necessarily true. Something can micro-evolve, but it's never. Again, your contention is that species
I would say
creates another species, like they create new species, and it just doesn't happen. But I would ask the question of what would get you to the point to say that evolution isn't true, because it seems like there's nothing that can be presented to you that you can't just say time.
Well, I would say, okay, so what evidence would convince me it's not true? It would be the argument you're making. I just don't think it's convincing enough yet. And maybe if we watched enough videos, we would. But that's my point with Stephen Meyer is if you can prove that no matter what direction a mutation might take an organism, it will always eventually break down no matter what, then you've disproven macroevolution. But to me, because I used to buy the same line that micro yes, macro no, but to me it's like,
where did God start? Are we single-celled organism?
Big Bang.
Okay, I can grant you a Big Bang. No.
Admittedly, I think here's my thing. The weakest link in the evolutionist argument is abiogenesis. How do you get living matter from non-living matter? How does biological organic material come from rocks?
You would subscribe to living from non-living.
You'd have to. I mean, I guess you could. To me, it's like, I guess you could argue that God created the first organisms, like Frank Turek said, and then they evolved. But to me, why?
That's what I'm asking you.
To me, that doesn't make sense. If you're going to start from something, why not just start with the finished product?
Correct.
But
yes.
if you start from the seed, I buy seeds. to grow crops.
Okay, so I'm asking you, where did it start? Where do you believe it started?
Abiogenesis.
You think we got living matter from non-living matter?
Yes. I think it's possible.
You think we got multi-celled organisms from single-celled organisms?
Yes.
I think that is absolutely delusional.
I think we got multi-celled organisms from RNA and DNA.
No. The only contention from single-celled organisms and multi-celled organisms is what is some specific single-celled organism that operates in a cluster that evolutionists now claim became a multi-celled organism because single-celled organisms work together.
I don't see a problem with that.
There's just because they're a cluster doesn't make them a multi-celled organism. It's still multiple single-celled organisms. There's a difference. There's no movement from.
I get what you're saying, but you're kind of operating from the assumption that, like, because we all start as a single cell, and then two, which then more cells, more raw proteins, and the womb basically incubates a fetus. And
just because we start as a single cell doesn't make it a single celled organism. These are separate things.
A multi-cell
DNA.
A multi-celled organism is a organism that is comprised of multiple cells working together to perform certain functions.
No. They all share the same DNA that then work together.
Right.
As a singular organism.
Okay. So
this is different than
your
single-celled organism.
Your contention is, so there's single-celled organisms that operate independently.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
They have
and
by
then
definition.
The only argument the evolution has is that they cluster together.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that become its own thing? Right?
Right.
That's your contention? Okay. So
it can't create new multi-celled
I would imagine, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but I would imagine the idea is that, like, these single-celled organisms clustering together, like, have vastly different DNA. It's like their own little.
Well, they're the same organism, but they're different. They're not the same. It'd be like
they have the same DNA.
No, they don't have the same DNA.
They have
it's still separate.
Similar
it's
DNA.
still separate organisms working together as a single-celled organism.
I think you're getting hung up on the word organism. Think of it as a function. You have single-celled organisms.
If I scratch off some skin cells on the ground and put them together, does that make it skin?
Well, first off, skin cells are dead.
Okay,
now they're living. No, I'll grant you no.
Okay.
It is not skin if you scratch your skin off. The point smelly balls, I thought you were leaving.
He was saying F because we were playing Joe Rogan.
We
survived. We survived.
My point is this: is a single-celled organism as they exist today are organisms that operate independently in the pursuit of surviving, of perpetuating its own existence and the existence of its offspring. It can perform independently, right?
Sure.
So, at some point in the past, when it was all single-cell organisms, some organisms found that if you cluster together and work as a team, kind of like a school of fish, it provides certain advantages.
How do they generate multi-celled organisms?
I would imagine they get to the point where you no longer need to separate from the whole. And first off, why don't you just Google it? Like,
what do you want to Google?
Go to search. How did single-celled organisms evolve into multicellular structures or multicellular organisms? Oh, shoot.
Oh, let's see what AI says. Single-celled organisms became multicellular through gradual steps. Cells started sticking together, forming colonies for advantages like avoidance, or better resource gathering and develop communication, leading to cell specialization, where different cells perform different jobs, eventually becoming interdependent and forming true coordinated organisms where the group's fitness outweighed individual cell needs. I mean, again, this is all theory that's never that doesn't create new multicellular
All right.
organisms.
Well, you asked for what would the evolutionists say? That's the answer.
You're not answering the question. They're not answering the question. How does a single-celled organism produce a multi-celled organism? That's what we have to get to. Just because
by
they're
clustering together and forming a colony that eventually each unit
procreates with each other.
Yeah.
Two multi-single cellular organisms procreate together to make
so here's what's
a new multicellular organism.
They form colonies, and eventually,
probably got
okay, so you got multicellular organism A and multicellular organism B. B is bigger than A. B feeds on A, and that's how B survives. So you get B or A, organism A forms a colony, and the colony becomes too big for B to attack individually. So now A is the superior organism. Well, eventually this colony starts to grow, and it's not you might have individual cells die off. The individual single-celled organisms that are now part of a colony die off, and their function, the role that they played, is now replaced by its own offspring or something like that, right? And then, through evolution, certain sections of this colony provide certain roles. And then those cells die off, et cetera, et cetera. And then what is the difference between that, what I've just described, and a multi-celled organism?
Creating a multi-celled organism without multiple single-celled organisms working together. There's this massive wall in front of you that you can't pass.
Incorrect. So in the same
How
way,
does a single-celled organism produce a multi-celled organism?
This is
it has to.
How does it produce? How does a single-celled organism produce? Yeah, that's what I'm
Through
trying
procreation, or I guess osmosis to some extent.
I guess
whatever you
would this help if I said, is what you're asking is, at what point does a colony of single-celled organisms, at what point does it produce a baby?
Sure.
Okay. I would say, because you got to kind of think back to what would like pre-life look like. What would like pre-fish or anything like that? Like basically these colonies would form, because they're in the ocean. That's where they believe life began, with abiogenesis. You got this smirk on your face. Just
how did the water get here? I mean, I don't.
That like eventually they just look like a fish.
Listen, if you're gonna adopt evolutionary theory, you need to adopt at least William Lane Craig's theory.
Okay, which is that God created fish?
No.
You're investigating
let's
this whole.
Let's see if this is it.
And then I gotta go.
Adam question right now. We were mutually. You actually spoke at an event at ETS, and I happened to be in the room and asked a question regarding theistic evolution. And my question was this, and I'd love to have you answer this as well. My question to the theistic evolutionists was, what evidence do you see for theistic or just for macroevolution of any kind that could not equally be interpreted as evidence for a common designer or common creator? Yeah. How would you answer that question?
I would say that the best evidence that the theistic evolutionists could offer would be features in the genome or the body plan of an organism which seem to be non-functional and seem to be evolved from a common ancestor in which those genes were functional. So let me give one of the examples that Michael Behe gives. The olfactory genes that we and chimpanzees both have, a sense of smell, are called pseudogenes. They're broken. They don't work anymore. And yet chimps have them. Why? Well, the best explanation seems to be that we got them from our last common ancestor who had these. and that therefore we both share these kind of genes, even though they don't do any good at all in our genome. To deny this, the creationist would have to say, well, God has chosen to design independently two organisms, chimps and humans, both with these broken parts in them that serve no good. It would be like saying that Ford and GM both designed independently a car with the same broken door handle in it. Doesn't work. So I find that to be the most persuasive argument for thinking that the thesis of common ancestry is at least in part true.
But then you would need a mechanism to give you common ancestry, and therein lies the problem.
Right. The question would be, is random mutation and natural selection enough to generate these biologically complex organisms from these common ancestors? So there are two separate issues here, Frank, that need to be kept distinct. One is what the thesis of common ancestry. Do we, in fact, have common ancestry with other animals? And that's the least objectionable thesis of theistic evolution. The people like Michael Behe are quite ready to accept. Other question is, are the explanatory mechanisms posited by evolutionary theory, like random mutation and natural selection, adequate to explain the evolution of biological complexity? And that, I think, is a much more difficult issue.
Yes, and I remember Stephen Meyer answering the question, because he was on the panel too. After one gentleman of the theistic evolution sort gave the sort of answer you gave, Stephen said, well, we've been investigating some of those broken genes, and we've discovered we don't think they're really broken. So obviously you'd have to do that on a case-by-case basis. Who knows what the right answer is? But this seems to change every 10 minutes, it seems.
Yes, and you're exactly right. This is what would need to be investigated. For example, the misnomer of junk DNA.
Exactly, yes.
Now, the non-coding regions of the genome is vital in regulatory function. So you're right, one mustn't jump to conclusions in this regard, especially if, like me, you're a scientific layman, not a biologist. You have to just try to see where the best arguments lie.
All right, real quick. This is what I'll say on the multi-cell organism thing, because honestly, I didn't get much out of that we hadn't already discussed. So essentially, in the same sense that, like, grant me for the sake of argument, in an evolutionary framework, kind of like he just brought up, eventually old DNA, like where DNA that is mutated, adaptations that come about through mutation may not be useful at first, but as in the environment changes, as these animals migrate or whatever, certain things that may, like the beak example I gave, may become useful later. And conversely, adaptations that we once had are no longer useful anymore. That's why, and I know you probably don't believe this, but we have these things in our eyes. It's like these little lenses, and they're remnants from like what crocodiles have. You know how crocodiles have two sets of eyelids. One is clear. It's basically they have biological set of goggles. It's theorized that we came from something similar to that. We no longer in the water regularly, and therefore that's
basically
adaptation.
the argument he made for smell just then.
Exactly. So my point being is, like, translating that to the single-celled organism issue is eventually the colony never breaks up. And then the more sophisticated the colony becomes, you have certain parts performing certain functions, which would basically evolve into a complex multi-celled organism.
I think me and you need to just binge watch a couple of debates.
I'm down. But I got to get going.
We got to bounce. We got Josh has a speech tonight. So
yeah,
wish him luck on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. I know it was a little all over the place today, is what it is. I will be live tomorrow at 12. Probably no factions tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Me and Jack, Real Talk is on hold as well. Couldn't get the recording done, so me and Jack are going to be doing a 2025 top 10 movies of 2025 year in review, and what we're looking forward to in 2026.
That'll be good.
So we got that to look forward to live on Thursday at 3.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for sticking around today. I know the back half of that was hard to listen to. I mean, Josh and evolution, that's just too much. So
to go over your heads.
We appreciate it. And we will at least outside the Overton, we'll be back next Tuesday, if not something before then. Corporate report. Maybe me and Atlas Friday. I don't know. We'll see. Thank y'all for joining us. I'm ZebBoykin.
I'm Joshua Vandernoord.
Outside the Overton.
These leaders are very sick.
Good evening, everyone. I'm This tragedy strikes the LAPD. The coronavirus has taken the life of an officer. He had been fighting for his life since May. There was live outside St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica, where the officer lost his life.
From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be America first. America first. And only America first. And I say, really, you know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay? I'm a nationalist.